Hello, my name is Dion and I am the creator of PolySynergy. Let me share with you a future vision. It's simple. Software as we know it is going to disappear entirely in a very short period of time. What do I mean by that? Every time we are using software, we are probably logging into our computers, maybe going to some SaaS application that is lists and forms and dashboards, and we interact with those lists and forms. Those type of interactions are simply going to disappear. There's no need for such a thing. This will happen quickly, and this is a concrete case of how AI is going to reshape our lives, because we hear a lot about AI, it's going to change everything, it's going to take our jobs, it's going to make all kinds of things that we are used to disappear. Yes, for sure. But how? That is the question. Well, one of those impactful things is the way we are using our software, because let's face it, we are hooked to our software fundamentally, right? It's on our phones, it's on our daily jobs. Everybody, almost everybody has to do with their computers and the way they're interacting with software. If software is going to disappear, then what is that going to look like? And how can we handle it? So this is not just for developers, what I'm going to say, because to us developers, it's already happening. If you are in software or building software, then you can easily see what I am seeing. It's obvious because it's happening to you right now. It's only a matter of time before it happens to everybody that is using their computer. What this also means is, well, it's pretty much an answer to the question, is AI going to take our development jobs? Well, yes, but not directly, more indirectly. If software is going to disappear, that will have a huge impact on development jobs, right? So that's what I want to talk about as well. And let me just show you a random application, if you want. You could also call it a website, but many of those applications are pretty much the same. They are lists or those type of blocks. They show you, dashboard type of information. We got a form here, which is always about the same. Look, those are my repositories. Oh, a list. Wow, a list, and then you click it, and then you can, click even more, and then you will find eventually what you need. And then you can read something, and then, there you go. Normal software. I mean, this type of software, which is, well, maybe this is not the best example because, of course, this is GitHub and it contains all kinds of complex stuff. But you must know that if you're in the, if you are managing a CRM or something, that it's always pretty much the same. You're just navigating forms, navigating lists, and adding data to them, extracting data from it, putting those data in dashboards, and then reading information. That is not, that's not going to maintain. I mean, I get it, why it exists. It exists because it started to exist within the boundaries of that time. There were no other options. This is how we got used to interacting with software. But the fact is that I see a lot of information here that is not useful for what I'm trying to really find. Say that I want to read the README of this repository, and that is what I'm actually after. Then why do I see this whole thing of who are the contributors, and all this stuff is simply not relevant for what I'm trying to do. We show it because, of course, we are going to navigate that website or that product. Of course, there is different types of software that is much more difficult to, have it disappear in a short amount of time, but that's only a matter of time. So if you're going to look at something like Blender, for example, this is a pretty complicated piece of software. That is quite different in many ways. I don't even remember how to navigate it, but this is something quite different, and this will exist much longer. I'm predicting, but this is not most software. This is not most people. Most people are just navigating forms, lists, and dashboards. That's really what it is. And Figma, another example of software that might be a little bit more difficult to replace, but that is more in between Blender and something like, a GitHub like list form dashboard type of application. Now, as for me personally, I have already been experiencing this change, and that is, I wanted to get to how can I be so sure about this? Well, I have been seeing this from the very beginning, but the way time unfolds actually tells me that I'm right. In fact, that is why I started building PolySynergy to, make sure that we have the software to do this transition. So let me show you some software that I've been using. Well, somehow it's in the wrong screen. PyCharm, for example. I've been using something like PyCharm or whatever IDE on a daily basis, morning till evening, writing code here, writing code, looking online in my browser, finding information, and navigating, lists, text editors. It's essentially all the same. Now, you might think this is a very complicated application as well, and it is in many ways. Yet, I see it less and less. Why do I see it less and less? Because now my daily work much more looks like this. I'm literally talking to my computer. Hello, how are you doing today? I can simply talk to my computer, and if I ask it to actually do something for me, it will do it. The only reason that I might look back at PyCharm is to correct some mistakes that it made, because it still does that. We're not at the point that you can fully trust it, but it will make some mistakes, and I have to change those mistakes, and and so on and so on. But mostly, I'm just checking: is it what it is? What it did is that what I wanted it to do. So look, hello, how are you? Talking about this and that. It will help me with everything, and that is the difference that we have been seeing. This is not your normal LLM. This is an actual agent that executes tasks for me. Now, if this is happening for me as a developer, which is generally regarded as one of the more difficult jobs you can do behind your computer, and it's affecting me right now, every day, then of course this is a matter of time before it will trickle through the other types of jobs that you do behind a computer. There's no reason why it wouldn't. It's just that we developers are affected first. We are affected first, and maybe that's a good thing, because now we can anticipate on this new software future. Okay, so since we touched on agents already, let's first get into how they actually work, because it's not that magical as you might expect. They do all kinds of stuff on your computer for you, but it's really easy to understand once you know what is behind it. So first, say this is a human. Oh, what is this? I don't want that arrow. Please go away. Let's do it like this. So this here, say that this is a human, and say that this is a screen. Then the human will be interacting with this screen and its keyboard, through its keyboard, I should say, and with the mouse, and you know how it goes, probably. So, look, so let's say that this is a button on that screen. Well, I don't know, where are you? Okay. So say there's a button on that screen, then this human will navigate its mouse and then click the button. What that does is it invokes a function, and that function is what actually does the work behind the button. But now you are functioning as the agent. You probably understand where I'm getting at. You now have been functioning as the agent to invoke the action. Let's say that you can delegate that task to something that is not you, but is much more like the robot, like the agent. That is very possible, because I already showed you, it's here. It's doing it for me all the time. Now, suddenly, you can be the person that is talking to this agent. And because you're talking to this agent, it will execute those tasks on your behalf. It's not that difficult. In fact, it's executing tasks on your behalf. And then this agent will return whatever it thinks that you needed. This could be text, but in fact, it could be anything. I mean, you know, right now, if you want to find a specific person in a database or something, then you will go to that list and then press the search, find the search field, enter the name of this person or its identification number, and then it will, you know, filter this list and you'll see the person. But if you say to the agent, hey, I want to find this and that person, then the agent could, you know, it's not always appropriate to just return text, but it could just as well return to you the filtered list. It will simply generate that at the moment you ask for it. And it will disappear as well at the moment you ask for it. Now just let's imagine a little bit further than we already did, because now I've been focusing on what that means for the actual software itself. But what I'm really talking about is, what does that mean to you? What this means is that, say you have a specific role in a company, then you will be interacting with that role. That role will be your assistant. You will be able to talk to your assisting agent to fulfill your role. You can even go as far as that your whole company will be an entity that you can speak to and ask it anytime what is going on. And then, if appropriate, it will generate something visual for you if you need it. It will generate whatever list that you need to see. It will generate whatever interaction that you're going to have to take to be able to do what you're about to do. So that's a completely different way of working with our systems. So this new software future that I was talking about, you know, how long will this take? That is, what are we looking at? Now, of course, I'm not able to predict the future as specific, although I have been doing it for the last couple of years, apparently. Say that we take a few steps. So this is 2024. Let's say that this is 2024. That's very small. 2024, it's just, hey, I want to have larger text. No, that didn't work. 2024, and then we got into 2025, of course. And then now we are almost at 2026 already. That's crazy, but it's true. So let's also take in 2027 and maybe even 2028. I don't know. So yes, 2027 and 2028. So 2024 was when we were really getting to understand the power of LLMs, like a more wider public was starting to see it. And then during 2024 towards 2025, this is you know, I believe vibe coding didn't even exist, that term, at this point, like January 2025. I didn't think it existed, but around this time, the whole concept of agents doing stuff for you, especially in the development world, that was getting very apparent. And now we are at the end of 2025 already, and we're seeing that agents are being implemented in all kinds of ways. You know, they are becoming known to the greater public as well right now. So what is going to happen from here on? This is where you will see what I'm talking about. So it will start the way you are interacting. So not just me as a developer, but you are interacting with your CRMs and your support systems, and everything is going to be much more in conjunction with this agent that works on behalf of you. And during this time, you will see more and more applications that are saying goodbye to the traditional ways of interacting with them. So that will happen here. It will happen somewhere from here. But it will not happen with the complicated application. So just to say that Blender is complicated. No, this will first be with the simple ones, you know, fields, forms, lists, dashboards, that type of stuff, the SaaS type of application. Just let's change it entirely. And then much later, or going to this way, that trend will just, you know, keep on happening. It will be much more fluid. Software will become something that is generated for you on the spot, just doing the specific thing that you need. and then disappear again as if it never existed, as if it has no value, actually, which is a bit of the problem with AI as well, right? How are we going to redefine our human value? That's an interesting question to talk about some other time. And then from here on, from 2028 on, I don't know. I think the whole way of software, the way it works, why wouldn't that change fundamentally as well? Right now we are thinking in terms of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or for web applications at least. You know, the default type of programming and everything that comes with it. Why would that AI not just generate an interface in ways that we don't even imagine right now? Just like some real-time, you know, AI generated world, it could just as well generate whatever you need at that moment. It's all coming, and it's coming fast. So yeah, let's do something about it. Let's build the tools that are actually required to do this, and it's going to start with agents that can simply create those HTML and JavaScript based things, give it to the user, and then have the user interact with that without them having to understand complicated applications as they have to do right now. So to just summarize what I just said, software as we know it is going to disappear. It will start with the simple applications, lists, forms, and you know, search and all the stuff that we know. And then it will it will continue to go on to the more complicated pieces of software, and then the whole way software even works is going to change. This is about to happen, like I said, and yeah, it's kind of an interesting future. I built PolySynergy to accommodate or help with this transition. This system will be able to generate all types of user-requested forms and connect with whatever you have running already. So it will wrap around your systems as you have them in place that your company is working on, but then make them available in the way that I just talked about. So that will be a very interesting thing to look at in the next video. For now, I just want to thank you for listening to me, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. And I also hope that you share this video and maybe even leave a comment behind so I can respond to that as well. I'm very curious to think what you know, or to think what you know, to know what you think. And again, thank you for watching. See you next time.